Hi, I'm Grandma from Grandma's Footsteps. I've had a request to show how I make my memory books. Now, I'm going to attempt to show you that today. Now here is one of the items that you're going to need to make the memory books. It is in fact a lot of A4 card. I used 250 GSM. For one of the reasons is because I have a lot of it, but also because it's a good weight for making memory books. When you make the front and back cover, you double it up, which means you basically get 500 GSM on your front and back cover and your spine. So that's one thing. You're going to need quite a lot of it. You choose your base colour. The original book I made in black, but this one is a baby book, so I'm going to make it in white. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is, to make them like mine, is the tonic dies. Now, this is one of the sets of tonic dies that I've got. I do have a few more, and we're going to be using these to make the pages, and I've decided to make the second size down. One of the reasons for I've made this decision is a lot of my baby paper is actually 6x6, and the inner one of the second size down, the scalloped edge one, actually will fit on a sheet of 6x6. Only just, but it does fit. So that's where we start. Now, in order to make the cover and the front and back cover, we start off with this die, which is the second size down. These dies actually allow you to make books in quite a lot of different sizes. So what I do in this case is we will place the die at that end. Now this side of the die here, this is a non-cutting edge, and what you are able to do if you do it this way is you'll be able to make your spine here, which means you don't need to buy the spine die or fiddle about with all that folding about. This is a way of doing it that makes it simple and you don't need the spine die. So I will cut that out like that with all this extra, and what you get is this. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a piece of card with it cut out here, and then down it's still joined down there because that's a non-cutting edge. Now what I like to do is to cut into there very carefully, simply because it makes it easier for me to get a straight line when I cut down the side. And what we're doing here is we're making the front. So I need my trimmer. So if I put my trimmer down here like this, hopefully you'll be able to see it. And what we do is we line up that edge there with the cutting line on your trimmer, that edge nicely. I'm not sure you can see that, but there it is. Make sure it's nice and straight, which mine isn't here at the moment, and I cut that off, and that makes a nice long back to it, which you will be using as a spine. Okie dokie. Now let me just cut this other side so that I can show you what I'm doing here. That's not very straight. It doesn't seem to want to go very straight. Okay, but we'll give it a go. There we are, and put the cutter away for now. And what we do need is the scoreboard. Now, I apologise, my scoreboard is absolutely huge, so it's going to take up a lot of space, and there is actually, although you can't see it on the camera, there is actually a line here, and that is your score line. It was caused by the edge of that die that at the edge where it doesn't cut. Now, unfortunately I can't see it at the moment, so if I put that on there like so, it is there at about 14 centimetres. Now all I need is my score tool, which seems to have escaped me. No, there it is. Okay, score tool. It's about 14 centimetres from this end. So we will score that down there. Now, you do exactly the same for the back. And then what happens is when you attach them together, you will end up with a double spine, which is good, and it makes it nice and stiff. I often actually will put another page on in order to make the spine even stronger, because that's basically what holds all the book together. Okay, so there is your front cover there, and you notice I've got the right side out there, but here we've got the wrong side. So what we do is we use the same die again, but this time we cut it right on the edge of the A4 card here. Now the reason for doing that is because you want a second piece that you can glue to the inside of your front cover, and it makes it stiffer, and it also means that you've got the outside edge there on the inside. Now that's not the one. I've got one here I prepared earlier, typical Blue Peter style. That is the one, but it's not quite right. Okay, and what you have to do is you have to line it up with the front page there, like so. And what I do is I make sure it's lined up nicely at the front there, and I grab my pencil and I make a little mark just this side of that crease mark there. Okay, and then we get the cutter again, and we cut along that line there so that it is the same size as the inside of the front page without any extra bits. So that's good, and you've got that. And make sure that you get the outside of your card, the neat side there, like so. And I will glue that to the inside of the card there, and that will make that a lot stiffer, and that's your inside page, inside your front cover. So, and obviously this will be all decorated and made pretty. One of the other things I did is, or that I do when I'm doing a book like this, is I will collect up together all the paper, the decorative paper, the pretty stuff. I collect that I think I might want to use, and I collect it all together, so that I don't have to go searching for it when I'm making the pages. Now we'll stick that on there, making sure we get the edges nice and level, and wipe the glue off my desk. I've been having a joke with my husband just recently about, oh, it must be National Glue Your Desk week or day today, and then it extended into National Glue Your Glue Your Desk week, and then it's now National Glue Your Desk month because I've been doing it so much. So there is your front cover. I haven't got it quite straight actually, so I may have to, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to adjust that, so I'm going to have to just trim that off a little bit. It happens, you know, when you're crafting, things happen and you just cope with them. So there we go. That's our front cover. Picked up a little bit of glue on there, so I just use my rubber, rub it out, and that's your front cover there. Once I've sorted out all my papers, I decide on what I want to use on my front cover, and I have chosen this particular paper to use on my front cover. Obviously I'll be adding a lot of other things to it, but at the moment I've cut that and put it to one side so that I don't accidentally cut up that sheet of paper for something else because I can't remember what I'm doing. Okay, now I've got here, this is another sheet that I've cut, but I've cut it with a bit of an extension. beyond this point, and beyond the point that they join. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark there, which is where the crease is on the front page. Get that nice and level there. Put a little mark just there, and I'm going to use the scoreboard. And I'm going to score. Now this is where you have to make a decision at how much you want outside of your between your pages, because we score that anyway so that it fits. Get it nice and straight. I'm having a day today, I can't get anything straight, and there we go. We score that, and what we will then do is to cut off any excess. Now I will tell you, if you do a centimetre, okay, I have got a centimetre mark on here. If you cut this at 1 centimetre from the edge there, that's fine and dandy, and that it will give you 1 centimetre between your pages. So I've got my centimetre mark there, and that's a centimetre mark from there to the cutting edge. And if I cut that off now, you find that we have got a nice 1 centimetre deep thing to cut or to stick. Now, how I attach the pages here is you've got this 1 centimetre, and this is what saves you having to use the spine. And I will stick that up against there with the 1 centimetre flap pointing towards the front page. Okay, now I always use red liner tape along the very edge, which is the hinge part. So we'll put a bit of red liner tape on there. Okay, that's good. Oh, why? Okay, so we put the red liner tape right across that piece of hinge there. That's good, and I always smooth it down with my bone tool, because it makes it nice and smooth, and it's actually easier to take the backing off if you do that. And then I will add some wet glue, including over the red liner tape, because it gives you a bit of wiggle room and also sticks the other bit down, the bit that doesn't have the red liner tape in it. So make sure that your flap is facing towards the front of your book there, or your front page. Just line it up on your fold there, like so, and smooth it down, like so. There we go. And then you will see that you have your first page. Okay, now we've got the front actually pointing backwards on this one. So what we can do is we can cut another piece, the same as we did before, and to attach to here, making sure that we've got the front at the front. And if you remember, we just line them up like this, and we put a tiny pencil mark there where we want it, and we will cut that off at the oh, sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Cut that off there at the right sort of size there, and that's done. It should now, oh, we seem to have lifted a little there, so we'll just give it a bit more of a push down. You can use your bone folder to push that down, and you can also use your bone folder to increase the crease in it. So we've got the right side, in this case, facing backwards. Oh, that's not very straight, is it? Okay. Right, if it's not very straight, we straighten up the sides and push that across, and we can adjust the crease. Okay, so if you've got a problem and it goes a little bit wrong like that, adjust your crease so that your edges are nice and level. There we go. So that can be caused by this not being cut 100% straight, but now it is straight and it is level with the front page. Okay, so that's good. So we've made this other small short page now, and because the right side of this page is to the back, we're going to stick this here on the front. Now at this point you have another decision to make. If you want to put pockets in the outside of your pages, you've got to choose at this point whether you want to put them on the side or at the top. Okay, I favour the top. So what we want to do, if you want to glue this on, I prefer not to use tape when I'm making any kind of pocket, simply because I think when you're putting things into the pocket it could well get caught up. So I'm just checking that this is the right way round, and this is the top piece here, so when I lay that down the top is towards me, and what we need to do is to glue around the edges, 3 edges but not all of them. Okay, now we come up this and we tend not to do the curve, okay, because it makes it wider, so whatever you want to put in, it's not going to get caught up so easily. So we now would help if it was the right way round. Stick that on there, lining up your outside edges, as so. Remove any excess glue there, and there. So that is on there, nice and tight, and we just you will get a little bit of glue seeping out sometimes. We don't panic about that, we just wipe it off. Okay, if it makes any kind of mark, you can use a rubber and a razor to get rid of it. So there we are.